Hello. So part of my course that I am creating for this class is to teach the students math functions as part of SAT prep on the math part of the SAT assessment that all juniors will be taking in April. So my idea would be that I'd first do the typical teacher thing where I'd take them through the practice. This either most likely would be done in person, but this could be done remotely as well. The steps I tell the students that they would have to follow would be to take the number inside of the parentheses and substitute it into the x's for the function equation. So I would do that right away. The parentheses is the 3, so I need to plug 3 into all of the x's there and then down here. So I'd plug it in 3 to the second power minus 3 times 3 plus 4. And then I teach my students, remember the PEDMAs. PEDMA stands for parentheses, exponent, divide, multiply, add, and subtract. So parentheses, he comes to the first of the order. We have no parentheses. So boom, done. Exponent, we have 3 to the second power. So that needs to be done first. 3 to the second power is the same thing as 3 times 3. So 3 to the second power is 9. Checking the rest of the equation, there's no more exponents. The next thing is to multiply or divide. So I have this 3 times 3 that I need to do. So that'd be minus 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. There's a minus. Bring down the plus 4. Now what I'm left with is the adding and subtracting. So then I would have to take 9 minus 9 plus 4. 9 minus 9 is 0, plus 4 is 4, so then my solution to the function is 4, and that is the solution. So then I'd have the students, your turn. The steps are still for them to see. So then they have G2 that they have to plug in the 2 into all the X's, and then they have to solve it. So this was done in person. I have whiteboards and markers for my students where they can write out their solution and get an answer. If it was done remotely, they would have to use pen and paper and then message me what they thought was the correct solution once they were done. And then just like the last problem, after I give everybody time to get the solution, I would go through the steps, especially if students were not getting it as another. And then if I had to, I'd pull up another example problem for them to do until I felt like enough of the class was ready to go and do this on their own. So then where we incorporate the new technology is my students are very familiar with TikTok. I don't actually have a TikTok account yet. I might get one to be able to participate in creating video examples of how this would work in the future. But anyways, what I would do is the teacher's going to assign each student a random function from a practice assignment. So I've made a practice assignment in Canvas. So the students, this is where students in person or remote, they can see the practice example. This is just one of the many functions that I could create for this practice. If I have 26 students, I'd create 26 of these problems for the students to do. So each student would be assigned one of these problems. So if the first student got this problem, they would have to then take this function and then plug in the 4 into it and then go through the steps and solve the solution. What I'm going to have the students do is in class, they will have a whiteboard or marker where they can write out their solution to the whichever one they got. They would do it on pen or paper or marker and whiteboard, and they would record themselves real briefly, 30 seconds, maybe 45-second clip of them coming up with a solution. The students then will record that short clip of them solving the problem. They would then send the link to the teacher in order for it to be approved. That I want to make sure that they did it right. And then what I would do is I would upload the video into Canvas. So then when the students all go through the next day, going through all the practice problems that each one student had as the solution, if they get any of them wrong, instead of having me have this wrong answer comments going through the steps, I would attach the TikTok link for them to be able to observe the correct solution coming from one of their peers. Their learning is they're taking responsibility and ownership of at least one of the problems and solving it and making sure that it's solved right, that then their peers can take and learn about the solution from them instead of just having a written out solution from their teacher. So that's how I'd incorporate the new media into the course for SAT prep on math functions.